Take a breath. You probably didn't think twice about it. But in that single inhale, you've just participated in one of the rarest phenomena in the known universe, a stable, breathable atmosphere that can support complex, intelligent life. Earth's atmosphere isn't just a blanket of gas. It's an engine, a shield, a filter, a stage for weather, a cradle for ecosystems, and a regulator for climate. It's invisible, but essential, fragile, yet resilient, and above all, unique. We've discovered over 5,000 exoplanets. Some are rocky, some sit in the so-called habitable zone, and many may have atmospheres of their own. But none, so far, have anything that compares to what Earth has achieved. Why? How did we end up with this perfect chemical cocktail? And could something like it exist anywhere else? This is the story of Earth's atmosphere, where it came from, how it works, and why it may be the rarest treasure our planet has to offer. To understand how Earth's atmosphere became what it is, we have to go back to the beginning, to a time when Earth wasn't blue and green, but molten and red-hot. 4.5 billion years ago, Earth was a ball of lava and rock, constantly bombarded by meteors. Any early atmosphere it had was quickly stripped away by the sun's violent solar wind. But as the planet cooled, volcanoes began to erupt, constantly and violently. These eruptions didn't just shape the crust. They released enormous amounts of water vapor, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen, and other gases into the sky. This formed Earth's second atmosphere, dense, toxic, and unbreathable. No oxygen, no ozone, no life. But the oceans were forming. Rain fell for millions of years, cooling the planet and drawing down carbon dioxide. In the watery darkness, something miraculous happened. Life emerged. And life, tiny, photosynthetic microbes called cyanobacteria, changed everything. Roughly 2.4 billion years ago, Earth experienced the Great Oxidation Event, one of the most transformative periods in our planet's history. Cyanobacteria had been performing photosynthesis, using sunlight to convert water and carbon dioxide into glucose, releasing oxygen as a byproduct. At first, that oxygen reacted with iron and other minerals. But over time, it began to accumulate in the air. For Earth, this was a revolution. Oxygen began to alter the planet's chemistry, killing off many anaerobic organisms that couldn't tolerate it. But for others, it opened the door to new energy pathways and eventually complex life. This shift also formed another critical layer, the ozone layer, high in the stratosphere. Made of 3 oxygen atoms bonded together, ozone absorbs harmful ultraviolet radiation from the sun, shielding the surface from DNA-damaging rays. Without the rise of oxygen, there would be no plants, no animals, no people, and no atmosphere as we know it today. At first glance, Earth's atmosphere may seem like one continuous layer, but in truth, it's structured, stratified, into zones that each serve unique functions. The troposphere is where we live. It stretches from the surface up to about 10 to 15 kilometers. Here, weather happens: clouds, rain, wind, and storms. It contains about 75% of the atmosphere's mass. Above that is the stratosphere, home to the ozone layer. Commercial jets often fly here, where it's stable and dry. Then comes the mesosphere, where meteors burn up in flashes of light, shooting stars. Beyond that is the thermosphere, where temperatures soar and the auroras dance. Satellites orbit here, and the thin air begins to blend with space. Each layer plays a role, absorbing radiation, regulating heat, and supporting the planet's life cycles. It's not just gas, it's architecture. And this structure is what makes Earth so different from other planets. Let's take a look at our neighbors. Mars has an atmosphere, but it's 100 times thinner than Earth's. Mostly carbon dioxide, with barely any pressure to hold in heat. Liquid water can't even exist on the surface for long, and there's no magnetic field to stop the solar wind from stripping it away. Venus, on the other hand, has an atmosphere that's too thick, 90 times Earth's pressure. A runaway greenhouse effect has turned it into a furnace, with surface temperatures hot enough to melt lead and clouds made of sulfuric acid. And then there are gas giants like Jupiter and Saturn, with atmospheres of hydrogen and helium, alien skies with no surface to stand on. Even exoplanets in distant star systems often show extreme atmospheric compositions: carbon monoxide, methane, hydrogen cyanide. Toxic, unstable, or too thin to offer protection. Earth is the rare balance point: pressure, temperature, and composition all working together. A planetary Goldilocks zone not just for temperature, but for atmospheric chemistry. What exactly is Earth's atmosphere made of? You might be surprised to learn that oxygen, the gas we depend on, makes up just 21% of the air. The majority, 78%, is nitrogen. It's inert, stable, and plays a crucial role in regulating combustion and preventing oxygen from becoming dangerously reactive. The remaining 1% includes argon, carbon dioxide, neon, helium, methane, and water vapor, along with microscopic particles like pollen, dust, and pollutants. Despite its small concentration, carbon dioxide is key. It traps heat in the lower atmosphere, helping maintain Earth's average temperature. Without it, the planet would be a frozen wasteland. But too much, and we risk tipping the balance into runaway warming. That's how delicate Earth's atmosphere is, a chemical equilibrium between stability and collapse. Even slight shifts can reshape the planet's entire climate. It's not just the mix, it's the feedback systems that keep it in check. Earth's atmosphere doesn't just sit around. It works, constantly moving energy around the globe. Sunlight heats the equator more than the poles. That difference drives wind patterns, jet streams, and ocean currents. Convection pushes warm air upward, while cooler air sinks. The atmosphere transports moisture, drives storms, and creates pressure systems that affect everything from droughts to hurricanes. It also plays a vital role in the carbon cycle, exchanging gases with the ocean and biosphere. Forests absorb carbon dioxide. Oceans sequester it. Volcanic eruptions release it. This balance, along with Earth's reflective clouds, polar ice, and greenhouse gases, creates a natural thermostat. For most of Earth's history, that thermostat has remained relatively stable, allowing life to flourish. But it can be disrupted. Today, Earth's atmosphere is changing. Since the Industrial Revolution, we've pumped massive amounts of carbon dioxide, methane, and other greenhouse gases into the air. As a result, global temperatures are rising. Ice caps are melting. Weather patterns are shifting. The ozone layer, once under threat from human-made chemicals, is healing thanks to international action. But new threats are emerging: microplastics, aerosols, and pollutants that interact with the atmosphere in unknown ways. And while Earth still has its magnetic field, which protects the upper atmosphere from being eroded by the solar wind, Mars is a stark reminder of what happens when that field disappears. Human activity has become one of the dominant forces shaping atmospheric behavior. And we now face a choice: protect this unique envelope, or risk unraveling the very system that sustains us. As we search for life elsewhere in the universe, one thing becomes clear: atmospheres are rare and precious. Telescopes like JWST and upcoming missions are beginning to analyze the atmospheres of distant exoplanets, looking for biosignatures: oxygen, water vapor, methane in just the right ratios. But so far, nothing compares to Earth. Life and atmosphere are linked. One shapes the other. Without life, Earth's atmosphere wouldn't be what it is. And without this atmosphere, life wouldn't be possible. We live not just on a planet, but within a living system, a sky that breathes, cycles, and evolves. As far as we can tell, it's the only one of its kind.